Check 1, 2.
Go! Curious about real estate? Yes! Then you've come to the right place. Get the knowledge you need. Get over the fear and get started. This is the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show with your host, Michael Quarles.
Hello, everybody. Michael Quarles with podcast number 22. On today's podcast, I'm going to talk about the importance of what we call the elevator speech, or how to introduce yourself, how to talk to strangers, why talking to strangers is important. Imagine standing in line, Subway sandwich store, waiting for your Subway sandwich to be made for you. There's a big, long line. It takes forever sometimes. Someone in front of you just ordered 15 sub sandwiches, and you have to wait your turn. You've got people in front of you. You have people behind you. Do you stand there and just look at each other like you don't want to talk to each other, or do you actually drum up conversation and have conversation on purpose? Well, how do you talk to a female on purpose? Purses and shoes. They all have a purse and they all have shoes. Most of the females I know, anyway, wear shoes. So if someone's carrying a purse that's standing in front of you, tell her it's a beautiful purse. She might fall in love with you, so be careful. But once you tell her that she has a beautiful purse, it's real easy to introduce yourself to her. Show interest in what she does. Ask her about herself. If there's a guy standing in line next to you, it's sports. Most all guys are interested in football or baseball or basketball or hockey or soccer or something. You can pretty much tell, the guy's he's 7 feet tall. You could probably drum up a conversation about basketball. So pick a sport, start talking about it. It's one of the reasons that every morning I get up, go get my Diet Coke at Jack in the Box. Yes, I'm a creature of habit. Get my Diet Coke at Jack in the Box, and I turn on sports radio for 15, 20 minutes. I listen to the hot topics of the day, the things that happened yesterday, who won the football game, who won the basketball game, who's getting traded. Whatever it is top of mind in sports, they kind of cover the same thing over and over and over and over again. So 15, 20 minutes is all I need to have the ammunition that I need to drum up a conversation with a stranger that I don't know about what I do, how I make money, how what I do could help them or someone that they know, how I buy houses from different folks, and how I can close on the day of those folks' choice, how I pay cash, and ultimately my referral program. And I'm also going to have interaction with the party, ask them about themselves, show interest, have a conversation, ask them for a business card. If I get a business card, they're going to go into my center of influence, and I'm going to continue to market to them. I'm going to continue to talk to them. Heck, I may even become friends with them, because you know what? I bet no one on the call, listening to this call, was a friend to their best friend before they met him. I bet everybody on the call, when you met your current best friend, you didn't know him before. You may have known of him, but when you met them for the first time. And that's how it works. So at the least, we're going to have great relationships. At the most, we're going to buy some houses. But what do we say to these folks when we meet them at Subway sandwich shop, at the gym, the grocery store, pumping gas? It's amazing to me. It takes, 10 minutes to pump gas or 5 minutes to pump gas, and we all stand around with a nozzle in our car. No one goes over to each other and says hello. We make those gestures of, hello and how you doing kind of things with our head. But no one on purpose goes over to a stranger and says, hi, my name is Michael Quarles. How you doing today? Did you see that Knicks game last night? I guess they got tore up. Man, or the football game, Brady and Manning. Or some lady that is standing there in beautiful shoes on. Why don't you just say, hey, ma'am, those were some beautiful shoes. She's going to love it. Drop a conversation. Start talking to strangers. Tell people what you do. Own what you do. And you know what? If you have a day job, let's just say, for instance, you're an attorney. Your day job, you're a litigator. You're an attorney. You do something really, really, really important. Someone comes up to you and they say, what do you do? Do you say you're an attorney, or do you say you're a real estate investor? Well, I'd start saying I was a real estate investor if that's what I wanted to do. If I had business cards that said, I'm a real estate investor, absolutely start telling people that you're a real estate investor, and stop telling them that you're an engineer or a school teacher or you deliver mail or you drive a truck. Because as soon as you own it, so will someone else. Learn how to introduce yourself. So we're going to explain a little bit about that. What do we say? How do we say it? And I'm going to have you listen to one of my students who just absolutely nailed it on our role playing. He's been in the program a month now, and he can flat out introduce himself as a real estate investor to people that he doesn't know. So before we listen to it, let's go over in detail what you're going to hear. You're going to hear him introduce himself. He's going to tell you the type of houses or the situations that he helps people with: foreclosure, divorce, probate, inherited, unhappy landlords, vacant properties, ugly properties, pretty properties. List goes on and on. He's going to talk about how he buys houses for cash. And he's going to say and talk about when he actually does the buying on the day of the seller's choice. Ultimately, he's going to end up with talking about his referral program. All these things are necessary in order to communicate what we do to strangers. And the reason that we talk about the different varieties of folks that we help, the probate people, the foreclosure people, the short sale folks, the unhappy or tired landlord folks, or the ugly house folks, or the pretty house folks, is because as we're in that Subway sandwich line talking to someone that we don't know, someone's overhearing our conversation. And maybe they're actually going through a short sale, or their lender just told them to go find someone that buys short sales because they need to sell their house. Well, if they don't overhear us talking about short sales, they're not going to come up to us and ask us, do you buy short sales? Absolutely, we do. Did you have a house that you're hoping to sell? I do. Is it listed with a real estate professional for sale? It's not. Tell me about your situation. The bank said I needed to go and find someone to buy it as a short sale. Well, then you fall forward with the short sale script. And this has all come about because you talked to a stranger about basketball and then told them what you do and told them about all the different people that you do it with. Or you told a lady that she had a nice purse or beautiful shoes. She fell in love with you. Be careful. Warn you, all you guys out there, make sure you let your wives know and your girlfriends know that you're going to be talking to females about shoes and purses. If you don't, maybe trouble at home. No, we don't want trouble at home. But have some conversations. Have some on-purpose conversations. Be prepared to buy some houses. I always carry 4 contracts in my car. Why 4? Because I might scribble and mess up one, and I want another one that I can fall forward with and buy a house. But I'm always prepared. I've always got business cards. I'm always capable of buying a house on the spot. Does it happen often? No, not at all. But be prepared. Nothing worse than not being prepared. Have some nice business cards, have some contracts, be ready when you start introducing yourselves. I'll even go one step further. Get some polo shirts. You've heard me say it before. Get some polo shirts, wear them around, says I buy houses on it, let people come up to you. Become the walking, talking real estate investor. And as soon as you start doing that, you're going to buy some houses. Man, we only have to buy 12. You realize if you bought 12 houses, one a month, which is not hard at all, 12 houses, one a month, and you made $27,000 on average. That's my average. Should be your average. So if you made $27,000 a house times 12, what is that, $324,000? 27 times 12. $324,000. What would you do with $324,000 1 year from today? Would that change your life a little bit? If you say yes, then learn how to introduce yourself. Talk to strangers. Because here's the deal. Strangers are easier than sellers because you don't have anything to lose. So when you can master talking to a stranger about a subject matter you want to learn, then knocking on the door and talking to a seller, that becomes a lot easier. But if you don't learn it in advance of talking to the seller, here's what's going to happen. Sweaty palms, intimidation. You're not going to be in control of the conversation. The seller's going to see it. They're going to ask you to leave when you're done. They're not going to negotiate the sales price of their house because they don't see confidence in you. They don't see a professional person in you. They don't see the ability to solve their problem in you because you didn't take the steps necessary to convince them of that in the first place. So let's start talking to strangers. Let's start introducing ourselves. Let's start asking for referrals. Who do you know? So ultimately at the end of the day, we can make $324,000 over the next 12 months. I think that'd be a pretty cool day, pretty cool year. What would you do? I know what I'd do. I'd learn how to introduce myself to strangers. So here is one of my coaching students in the program for less than a month now, introducing himself while we were role-playing as a real estate investor. I want you to listen to it, and after he's done, I'm going to go over how he did it and why he did it the way he did it. And I'm going to bring up one very, very important thing to practice when you learn your elevator speech. Here we go. Introduce yourself to me as a real estate investor.
Hey, my name's Robert Schaffner, and I buy houses from folks going through divorce or in probate where they have an inherited house, ugly houses, pretty houses. I buy houses from tired landlords who are looking to get out of the business, from people going through foreclosure or short sale. And one of the great things about my business is I pay cash, and we close on the day of the person's choice. And also, we buy the houses as is, so the seller doesn't have to worry about making any repairs. And we've got a great referral program, too. We pay $500 for each referral that ends up closing. So do you happen to know anybody looking to buy or sell a house?
I don't, but that was outstanding.
Yeah?
Let me recap. He introduced himself to me. He told me about the different types of situations he solves. He told me how he solved it by using cash and closing on the day of the person's choice. He brought up the fact that he buys them as is, no repairs required. He talked about his referral program. Ultimately, he asked me who I knew that was looking to buy or sell a house. And all that took only 45 seconds. 45 seconds of his life to introduce him to somebody where he could possibly make $27,000. I do that all day long. I mean, I can't go through my grocery store without someone coming up to me and asking me, do you buy houses? Absolutely, I do. Because I'm a walking, talking real estate investor. But let me give you a little secret on how to do this and how to learn how to do this. There are a few rules. First, let's write down the script. Write it down in word for word what you want to say. Don't worry, it doesn't have to be proper grammar or anything like that. Just write it down. My name is Michael. I buy houses, and these are the people I buy them from. Write it down. And then every day for a week, I want you to read the script to yourself, to your mind. You can read it out loud if you want. You can move your lips if you want, or you can just read silently to yourself your script. But I want you to say it to yourself as fast as you can, almost like an auctioneer, even faster. I want you to do that 10 times in the morning, put your script down, and do it 10 times at night, put your script down. When you do that for a week, you'll know your script. Then your brain will be able to pull up the script so you can say it when you need to say it. So 10 times really fast in the morning, 10 times really fast at night, 7 days, you're done. You're going to know your script. The next thing I want you to do after you know your script. Most of us have a recording device on our cell phones nowadays. I'm not talking about, a video camera of yourself talking, but a recording device where you can do like voice memos. I want you to practice it to yourself, recorded so you can listen back to it 10 times every morning and 10 times every night for a week. Listen back to it, and then you're done. When you listen to it, I want you to listen for the weak words. W-E-A-K, the weak words. They sound like, okay, those kinds of words. The ones that we use between the important things we want to talk about and say. So listen back for those, and during that week of recording yourself, try to learn not to use weak words. Try to speak very, very clear. It's very tough, I can tell you, because I use a lot of weak words. But when you start mastering not using them, the way you sound is much more professional. People start listening to you closer. They start believing you because it doesn't sound made up. It doesn't sound on the spot instant. It's something that you own. Like if I asked you when your birthday was, you wouldn't go, my birthday. You would say when your birthday was because you own it. You know it. It's something that is tangible for you. I want your elevator speech to be the same way. I want you to be able to introduce yourself the same way. Own it. And then go out and buy some houses. $27,000 a house, 12 houses, $324,000. That's all you got to do. Thanks a lot, guys. You guys have a great day. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show. Get more info and stay in touch at michaelquarles.com.